This is not leading up to something special, I'm sorry. That's the end of the story, it's a bit of a downer. Can't have too much joy. Want to acknowledge three groups here. Greg, for his leadership, done a phenomenal job with the business, thank you. And part of being a good business leader, or a good leader of any kind, is to build a great team. Which he has done, and we promoted two of the executives from the team onto the firm's operating committee this year, Andy Saperstein and Shelley O'Connor. And Shelley, I think if I'm right in saying this, and Jim Brinkley may know and may correct me, but I think Shelley is the first woman to run a field organization. I know there's been a CEO of the business. And she started off in the administrative and operations side in the PWM office in LA about 5 years ago, wasn't it? And then when I joined Morgan Stanley, Shelley was the first person I sat with and helped me get through, navigate my first 100 days. She had a 100-day plan for me. So great to see your success, and much deserved. Tomorrow you have an extraordinary panel, and I just want to give you, I know they're going to be introduced properly tomorrow, but I want to acknowledge them tonight. We have Sir John Scarlett here with his wife, Lady Gwenda. Where are the Scarletts? John is the former head of the British Secret Intelligence Service. Think James Bond without the martini or the Aston Martin. Don't worry, it's still a cool job. We also have here General Michael Hayden, who's here with his wife Janine. I know he's in the middle of the room. And General Hayden is the former director of both the CIA and NSA. And some wag on the way into the room said to me, there's probably no conversation of yours he hasn't listened to. But that would be a wag, and I ignored them. And thirdly, we have Dr. Richard House, who is here, I know, sitting across one of these tables. There he is. He is the president of the Council of Foreign Relations, position he's held for, I think, a little over a decade. American diplomat, he served under President Bush and has written 11 books on foreign policy. So before you go to sleep tonight, think Crimea, Ukraine, Syria, Northern Ireland, where Dr. House was a special envoy for the government, North Korea, China, Japan, island disputes, and so on and so forth. There are 1,000 issues going on in the world at the moment, so you're in for, I think, a real treat tomorrow. So please make sure, if you're going to sleep in for my speech, that's okay, but at least get up for theirs, all right? It's been an extraordinary couple of weeks. The third group that I want to acknowledge as part of that is the Barron's team, who I know are going to be properly recognized tonight. But I have to say, it is pretty cool when you have something which is a national competition, and there are hundreds of thousands of financial advisors in this country. And not only did we have 30 of the top 100, we had all 5 of the top 5. So to those, congratulations. Success breeds success, so we're looking forward to 10 out of 10 next year. Great couple of weeks. The earnings obviously were well received, although we would have liked to have seen a little more bump in the stock. We had our board meetings this week, which were both exhausting, but also I'm so proud of our board of directors. We have such a great group of directors. You would be very proud of them if you got to know them personally. And then finally, I wanted to mention something I said on that video that I do around earnings time. And I'd say this also for our spouses and friends. I was giving a speech in Jones Island in Florida about 10 days ago, and it was to a large group, and at the end of it, there were some alumni in the room, and this elderly gentleman came up to me. He was probably in his mid-80s, and he came over to me, and he said, I just want to say thank you. He started at Morgan Stanley in the 60s and spent his whole career there, and is now long since retired, still owns the stock. But it wasn't the financial thing he was thanking us for, it was the fact that the firm had its mojo back. He felt the firm was the kind of class organization that he had known it to be when Morgan Stanley in the 60s probably had 200 employees by the end of the 60s. We now have 56,000. And he just wanted to say thank you. And as I said on that video, my only regret was I wish he was saying to all of you, I'd like to have dragged him up here tonight and have him say to you, because it's great I get the accolades, I'm the visible one, but it's because of what our teams do in this business, wealth management, and obviously in institutional securities and asset management, and all of our support functions that really has moved the needle these last several years, which have been tough. And so I want to thank you. But I'm also cognizant of the fact that your success doesn't come entirely because of your own greatness. We all have somebody who helps us in life in one form or another. And it is to those somebodies for whom these recognition trips are designed. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a recognition trip with spouses and partners, it'd be just with you. And the reason we invite our spouses and partners is because we want to recognize them too. So if you wouldn't mind standing up and proposing, I'm going to propose a toast to all of our spouses and partners for what you put up with to get us here. Thank you. Please enjoy the evening. Thank you.